All praises and honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and we praise His name for this great day that He has made. And we want to thank the Most High for this Sabbath day. We're going to continue learning from our foreparents. And get me Psalm 94:16 to open up. Already Ashaka Purim, meaning happy Purim, which is our feast days that's coming. Who knows when it's coming? 26 and 27. All right, that's going to be the day. It's 2 days straight partying, you know, in that great feast of Purim. As also, always, this is GYC community. You can visit us at gyccommunity.com. Remember to share, like, and subscribe to our channel so we can push this truth throughout the earth, that we are God's chosen people and that we need to return to all the wisdom of the scriptures. My name is Minister Yeshar to my left. My name is Minister Tawat. So all praise to the Most High. We're going to start with Psalm 94 and 16. Yes.
The book of Psalm 94, verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Right. So the Most High said, who will rise up? Okay. Stand up against the evildoers and workers of iniquity. All right. So we're going to study the book of Esther. Continue. Who remembers some of the things that we actually studied last week? Who remembers some of the things we studied last week? Everything's good? Anyone remember what we, sister, remember anything? All right, so in summarization, what we saw last week was the king, you know, we were under the Medes and the Persians, how the king had to let Vashti go because she refused to come and being rude and being an independent black woman. She got fired. And the king had to marry a new woman, which happened to be one of our people, called Esther, who became queen. And we also saw how Mordecai actually uncovered a plot to kill the king by 2 of his chamberlains, those security guards. All right, so we're going to continue in the book of Esther. All right, but before we do that, get me Romans 15 and 4.
The book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. Romans 15, verse 4.
Read out.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning,
For our what?
Learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right, so everything that were written aforetime, it was for our what? For our what? Learning, that you should learn. Okay? Most of our people, they want to forget the past. They say the past is the past. Let it be done away with. But if you refuse to learn from the past, you're going to keep repeating the past. Because that's how people grow. Over time, experience got to keep, got to keep moving forward. Passing on to children. That children may become wiser and wiser. In every country, this is the way it is. Okay? Those nations always refer back to that president, how they did things in Congress, back in the days. Okay, so they can learn from what happens, so they could build themselves up. But we're the only nation that we forget slavery. If you want to forget slavery, guess what? Slavery is going to happen again. Because you won't prepare accordingly when it comes around again. Because the Bible says what? There's nothing new under the sun. What goes around comes around. It'll come around again. Just like the earth is turned on its axis, so everything come back to the same place. So we need to go back to the past and learn of our foreparents and see how did they do things. So we can not only learn but improve the way we do things today. All right, so let's go in the book of Esther. Let's start verse 1. So remember, brothers and sisters, share the live. Okay, share it on your Facebook page. Everywhere. WhatsApp to your families, to your wicked grandmas. You understand? Share it. Okay, so they can know the truth. The Bible says the truth shall make them free, man, from that wickedness. All right? Read on. The book of Esther, chapter 1. Chapter 3.
The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. Esther 3, verse 1. Mordecai, after these things, did King Ahasuerus promote Aman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advance him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman. For the king had so commanded concerning him, but Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence.
Right, so Mordecai never bowed down to him. Everybody bowed down to Haman, not Mordecai. All right, read.
Verse 3, Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, Why transgressest thou the king's commandment?
So why you keep breaking the king's law? It's the king's law that you should bow down before that man. All right, read.
Verse 4, Now it came to pass when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew.
Okay, so he told them he was a Jew, man. I don't want to. Jews don't bow down to people. Israelites never bow down to nations, man. We never worship nations. Acts 5, verse 29. Acts 5:29. Acts 5:29.
The book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey the Most High rather than men.
Rather than who?
Rather than men.
So we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. Let me take camera. Shalom, shalom. You can look. That's fine. Read that again. Acts 5:29.
The book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29.
Read.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey the Most High rather than men.
We ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So that's what we go by. We never bow down to any men. Because what does the law say? Thou shalt bow down to who? To the Most High, man. Get me Exodus, man. 20. Start in 4.
The book of Exodus 20, verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath,
Read.
or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not bow thyself to them.
Read.
Nor serve them. For I, the Most High, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me.
Right. If you bow down to any man, you hate the Most High. You don't want to be on that side. Read.
And shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
Right. So let's go back. So that's why Mordecai refused to bow down to Haman. But, the heathen won't take it well, man. And that's why they always had a problem with us Israelites. Because Shadrach, Meshach, they refuse to bow down. Can you sit down? Can she sit down?
What about when you go to court, the people keep saying your honor? I have a problem with that.
That's not bound down to him.
But they keep saying your honor.
We have honorable.
Honorable, it just means someone that's honorable. Like you say, a man is honorable among his brethren. It's not saying to bow down.
The problem is in the Catholic Church when they proceed to call people my Lord.
Right.
That is off, man. That's another level.
Right. Be careful not to worship men.
What about that calling Esau your honor?
At least it's not your honor. You say your honor, not my honor.
Right? So let's keep going. That's not bound down to him anyway. Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Oh, let's go back to the book of Esther.
Book of Esther, verse 7. Verse chapter 3, verse 7. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur. That is the lot before Aman from day to day and from month to month. To the 12th month, that is the month Adar. Verse 8. And Aman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. And their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
Right, so this man said, man, these people got a different laws. They don't go by our laws. We say eat swine, they say, man, we don't do that. Right? We say break the Shabbat, they say, man, we don't do that. They hate us, man. Okay? Their law is diverse from all people upon the earth. You see that what the Most High is saying? All the nations have the one God, really. It's the devil. Because they all do the same thing. Okay? They all agree on the same thing. But Israel, we're set apart people. We have different laws. All right, read on.
Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business, to bring it into the king's treasuries. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Amon, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Amon, the silver is given to thee, the people also to do with them as it seemed good to
Right.
thee.
So this man said, man, look, it's given to you. The people, take the money, kill them. As easy as that. All right? Because the people is not in their advantage. Okay, while we sleeping at night, they're plotting to destroy our people, man. Same thing today. While we're in the hood, man, struggling, there's many people plotting on how to destroy our people. Yeah, how to destroy the nation of Israel. Right? What you got?
Isaiah 54:17.
Right? Get me Isaiah 54:17, bro. Right?
Book of Isaiah 54, verse 17.
From the food that's sent to our neighborhoods, man, to the abortion clinics, the prison system, the homosexual agenda, the churches, the drugs, the alcohol, Planned Parenthood, psychological warfare, the music. These are all ways they're trying to destroy God's people, man. Yeah, so guys, please cut the chit-chatting. Gotta respect this place. And please take those things from the kids. That's not the place for that. Sit straight and learn. That's what you're here to do. I took college.
Get up. Get the phone. Get up. Get up.
All right, can you guys hurry up so we can continue, please? Sister Alicia, can you share with us?
Oh, I think I was still a sister last night and I was sleeping and I was
I didn't really want you to share, but okay.
exactly. So you wanted
Just don't share it. It's not a good time. All right, so let's do this. We can wait after. You're funny, man. But read that. Isaiah 54:17.
Isaiah 54, verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
Shall what?
Shall prosper.
No weapon formed against Israel shall prosper, man. What happened? They put the drugs in our neighborhood where it ended up. And Lighthouse Point, man. Okay, they put the bad music for our people to learn. Who's hanging his pants low now? Okay? All the bad things they put in our neighborhood is going back to you, man. Because when you throw a rock in the air, it falls on your head. They think they can destroy our people with all the food, but guess what? Their people is eating it too. Guess who I see most of the time in the Dollar Tree? Their people. And guess who get cancer quicker? You understand? So when you start doing evil to our people, I mean, it's coming back to you. Because the Bible says no weapon against us shall prosper. Come? All right, read on.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
Read.
And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn.
Thou shalt condemn. Read.
This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High, and their righteousness is of me, saith the other one.
Right, it's of me, man. It's not of them. They don't have no righteousness. But I'm righteous. So anything that plot to destroy your people, man, is going to come back to hurt them. And that's what Ammon thought he was going to do to the Israelites, man. He thought to exterminate everyone. But let's see what happened. Let's go back to the book of Esther.
The book of Esther, chapter 4, chapter 3, verse 10. And the king took his rings from his hand and gave it unto Ammon, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagites, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Ammon, the silver is given to thee, The people also to do with them as it seemed good unto thee. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenant, and to the governors, and were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after the language. And the name of King Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by post unto all the king's provinces, to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them for a prey.
You got to realize earlier they said they cast lots, and the lots fall on the 12th month. That they're doing some type of witchcraft to see what month should we kill them in. Is the 12th month, and you got to notice what day on the 12 months. 12 months and they what? 13 days. How many tribes do we really have? 13, because we had 2 half tribes. You understand? So they choose the days according to witchcraft, hoping that it's going to prosper. Number 23, brother. Right? Let's see if they can destroy our people, man. There's a lot of witchcraft going on, man. In your TVs, in your movies, music. Aiming to do witchcraft against our people. Read on.
The book of Numbers, chapter 23, verse 23.
Read that.
Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and Israel, what hath the Most High wrought?
Right. So no one can do no enchantment against Jacob, no magic, no voodoo against Israel. That's not gonna work against our people, man.
23.
They can try though, but that ain't gonna work. Let's go back to the book of Esther.
The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 14. The book of Esther, 3, verse 14. The copy of the writing for commandments to be given in every province was published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day. The post went out being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed.
Why? It was all confusion. What is this commandment? To destroy a whole nation, kids and adults and everybody. Okay? But that was the doing of Haman, man. All right? Just because one man refused to bow down to him, he said, I got to kill all of them. All right? Let's read on. Esther 4, verse 1.
Book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud voice and a bitter cry, and came even before the king's gate for one night, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandments and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Verse 4. So Esther maid and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly raiment to clothe Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth for him, but he received it not. Verse 5. Then called Esther for Atash, one of the king's chamberlains, who he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was.
Right, so Mordecai came in front of the palace in sackcloth, man. They wouldn't let him in because he's in sackcloth. So Esther let him send clothes, but he like, I don't want that. Everybody was mourning. Was in mourning. Read on.
So attack went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them. Verse 8. Also he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to shew it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king, to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him for her people.
Right. Read on.
And attack came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Again Esther spake unto Attack, and gave him commandments unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether men or women, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live.
Right, read on.
But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days.
Right, so Esther is the wife. Esther like, man, you can't just walk up on the king like that. If you just show up like that, he don't show that golden scepter, man, you finished. Get your head cut off. And even I'm the wife. I haven't seen him in 30 days. What you at?
Yeah, so essentially the rule was simple. He call you, then you can come.
Right.
But if he doesn't call you, you just show up.
You finish.
If he holds the scepter, you will leave. But if he doesn't hold the scepter, you doomed to that.
Yeah. So Esther, like, I can just walk in there and make supplication. Okay, let's read on.
Verse 12. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews.
Right, read.
For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall these enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place.
He say, if you don't want to do something, guess what? The Most High will still save us. Because he got many avenues to save our people. Right? If you refuse to go talk to the king, you can perish too. You're a Jew, remember that. Just like a lot of our brothers and our people, once they get to high position, they forget they're black. Just like this guy. He went on the news, he said, man, black people shouldn't get any reparations. Yeah. He said, we don't need that. He loved white men. A lot of our people forget who they are, man, once they reach authority position. Okay? But he remind Esther, man, you a Jew just like us. When it's gone bad, it's gone bad for all of us. Don't think because you're in high position, you're still not a nigger. Because at the end of the day, you can be, like our Oprah, she went places and they call her, you a nigger. You can't get in. Money doesn't make you free. Position doesn't make you free. It's when you have your own country, your own people, you leading, you governing your own self, then you free. But don't think for a minute getting money in America will really erase the racism in their mind. It's not gonna happen. Because they look at you a certain way, they will always look at you that way. And that's what Mordecai had to do. He said, remember, you're one of us. You ain't gonna escape either. Read on.
But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed, and who knoweth? But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed, and who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
Right. So he said, who know that the Most High puts you in that position for such a time? Guys, no snacking. It's okay. Saving the snacking for. You're making me hungry. Let's read on. It's okay, sister. All right. All right. So he says, "Who knows if you didn't come to the kingdom for a reason, for that specific reason? Because as we know, man, the Most High is always making providence for our people, man. Plans ahead of time. Okay, a lot of things that happen in your life, it's for a reason. It's no random things. What you got?
We have a perfect example of Jacob and his children facing hunger.
Yes, that's
The Most
another
High
good
already
example.
put Joseph in Egypt, even though it was bad, but the Most High already made plans to save Israel.
Right, as you said, man.
Years before.
Years before, the Most already knew the famine was coming. The Most already sent Joseph years before. It sounds bad that your child get kidnapped. How many of you would curse God that your child get lost and dead? You think he's dead?
I mean, if you don't have the law, people don't know the law, they don't
And even people in the law, man.
know.
Some of our people, man, you got the law, but they don't like to take that baptism of fire. Okay? You lost your child, or you think your child is dead. Even in death, man, we need to still honor the Most High. And when we get to that fire, it's easy to say, but when the fire comes, many won't resist it. Many people will curse the Most High. Like Jacob really thought Joseph was dead, man. But the Most High prepared years before. He already know what's going to happen. Years before. Joseph was already set up to save his family. Okay? So it's, let the Most High plan work, man. In everything, because we limited in knowledge, we should thank the Most High for every situation. Even if your car won't start in the morning, you're going to work, you late. Calm down. Don't curse the Most High. Don't say, why, God? Look at it, I'm late. Curse that. You know I'm going to get fired. Who knows if you're not going to catch a bad accident and die. Just like World Trade Center, there's a man that say he couldn't go that day. World Trade Center, when it collapsed, he had an emergency. And next thing you know, the whole building collapsed. You are spared. Okay? So just leave everything to the Most High, man. Even if it's bad. Because we limited in knowledge. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's what Mordecai tell Esther. He's like, remember, man, that's for a time like this the Most High sent you. All right, let's read.
Okay. Then Esther bade them return. Return Mordecai this answer: Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maiden will fast likewise, and so will I go and unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded them.
Right, so you see our foreparents, how they do them things. When things go bad, what the first thing they did? They fast, man. Prayers. Don't panic. First thing you need to know is what does the Most High got to say about this? Right, Brother Azari? Shaking your head like a bobblehead, man. Right. Most High said, man, the first thing our foreparents always did back then is fast. They seek the Most High for guidance. Right? So let's read on. Read.
Chapter 5, verse 1. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. And it was so, when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter.
Right, all praise to you, man. So So the king hold the golden scepter. That means Esther is allowed to come in, not die. Read.
That was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Then said the king unto her, What will thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request that shall be given thee to the half of the kingdom? And Esther said, And if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
Right, so Esther didn't go panic on the king and be like, King, they're about to kill my people. I'd say, please come to a banquet, to a party. See, this is how our sisters do things back then. They didn't fight. They sweeten the man. Right? They make him sweet. Like you hear, yo, I'm about to make a nice dinner for you. Before you go to your husband and you want something, do something nice for him. Make him happy. Give him some wine. You understand? Yeah. If you want, a lot of guys don't want to give you money. There's a way to do it. Women were not born to fight. They're not fighters. If you just use your feminine side, you can eat a man's eyes.
Stop being an independent woman.
You understand? The Most High made the man with a touch. The woman with a touch. You touch your man, you melt his bones. You tell him some sweet words. You dress certain ways. He's gone. He's a gunner.
Mine is gone.
You understand? You don't have to fight. Women never have to fight any man if you know what you're doing. You understand? The more you fight a man, the more you become aggressive. But guess what? You woman, you were born with a touch, with a sweet lips, with a feminine body. Use those things to your advantage. You'll get everything you ever want.
She said, yeah.
You're gonna grow up one day. You're gonna know. Throughout the whole history of the Bible, women always make men fall because of the power they have in their feminine. But a lot in these days that teach women to be aggressive and fight. There's a different way of fighting. Look at Samson, man. That woman touched Samson. Please tell me the secret. Samson said, "It's my hair, man. Just cut it."
Just cut it, goddamn.
Just cut it already. The way you talk to me, man, I feel good. I don't know none about secrets.
And your presence, I will not be. That's what
Eve come to Adam, man. Like, man, please, man, just eat. It's so good and start touching it. I'm not eating. I want to eat them. Did you just make me eat the fruit? Okay. Understand? So women has power over the men. Like although the men have power over the women also have power over the men. But in a different way. Our sisters don't know how to do that.
They don't know how to use that.
They don't know how to use your feminine side to get what you want. Not for evil, because I know some sisters are good at using that for evil. Unfortunately, righteous sisters don't know how to use that. How you have a man in your house, he divorced you? That shouldn't happen. You should never let a man divorce you, man. Because there's things in you that's irresistible. And he can't resist. The Bible calls it the precious things. You understand?
PG-13.
You understand? Things in you that the man cannot resist. The way you touch him, the way you talk, the way you put yourself in your body. That man will give you a half of his kingdom. You understand?
You know he doesn't how he's gonna promise you.
Yeah, you're gonna take the moon to the sky and bring to you, man. If you just know what you're doing. Okay? Because the Most High created you for that. And Esther, she understood that. She's like, man, if I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna have to make him happy first. Because I don't know what he's going through. I don't know he's stressed. Like your husband come from work. Maybe that's not the time to start asking money. You understand? There's a time and a place for everything. Maybe it's the time to put hot water. Like do something special, sisters. Put hot water, start massaging his feet. That's your whole, that's your plot. Okay? You're massaging his feet. Oh man, oh man.
Go around the neck and everything.
Go around the neck and...
Exhale.
Yeah. Hey, can I have some money? Can I have some money? And you must say, take it. Just take everything. Keep going. Keep going. Just take the money. You know, more like, why didn't you say so?
Next thing you know, baby, in your arm, I want to stay.
You understand? Like, look, man, your sister can charm your man to the point he never want to go anywhere. You understand? But a lot of you prefer, what you prefer doing, man, is fighting. Okay. Okay, sister, sit down. That's not going to work. Right? So a lot of you sisters prefer fighting, but Esther understood, man. Hadassah in Hebrew, her name in Hebrew, she understood how to fight her battle. Okay? Because you cannot fight someone who's already stronger than you. You cannot do that.
Yeah, that's a big mistake, man.
That's it. But know how to approach your man. If you want something big, invite him to a little dinner. When he come home, there's a little table set, wine and all the good stuff. Man, it's like, man, what's gotten into you? So don't worry, I'm gonna please you tonight. It's like, yes, that's your night. Yeah, I'm gonna cater to you, man. That good food. Before you know, even you sisters that have your husband not in the truth. Yeah, use your simplicity and use your feminine side, man. Get him in the truth.
Next thing you know, he's gonna be here right in the front.
Yeah, it's like, man, yeah. Did you say go? I'm already here. Like, yeah, soldier of the Most High. Like, you don't have to fight that hard battle. Always fighting him, man.
You be like, baby, you know you're the king.
You're the king, man. I bought you a crown. You literally buy him a crown, like. You know, the Bible says I have to treat you like a king. You know?
That's about right.
And, oh, yeah, but like, he come in, man. You treat him like a king. It's like, all I want, I'll treat you even much better if you come with me. It's like, I'm already there. What you talking about? Understand? It's all about using wisdom, sisters, because the power you got, man, it's something that's amazing to us.
Like,
we can't resist that.
I give you a phone. Or you be like, babe, you know, without you by my side, I feel incomplete by being here.
I feel incomplete when I'm going to congregation. You know, and you're the king, and here's a crown. Let me massage you while I'm at it. Give him some nice massage, and before that man gone, man.
Next thing you know, he's right here.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I could, shalom.
It's like, when did you learn Hebrew? As I said, it's all about using your abilities as a woman, and don't be afraid to use it, especially when it's for righteousness.
Yeah.
And that's what Esther understood. She's like, I can go on that man and be like, they're about to kill my people. I don't know what stress he's going through, so I gotta sweeten him up.
Give him some wine first.
Yeah, give him some wine, some massage, invite him to something special.
Men approach differently, man. You know, it takes time, but the right way, you're gonna get him.
That's why even spies, man. That's why even spies, man. A lot of time it's women that got them.
Yep.
It's a woman they'll send at you.
Yeah.
Because, man, there's nothing deadly than a woman charm. Yeah, there's nothing deadlier than that.
Yep.
Okay, if you know how to fight. Woman touch you, you gone. It's hard to fight that.
And this you know, just call it honey trap.
Honey trap? Yeah, call it honey trap. They trap you with a honey. Mm-hmm.
The man had cut off. Nobody couldn't go to the general, but except she said she's going.
Yeah, that's how they got that king, man. Judith got that king. He went, man, and get. Yeah, a general. It's just, showing him so much love, man. This man fall asleep in her arms until his head got chopped off. He woke up. He's like, am I in hell? Where my head at? So get me Proverbs. I gotta. Get me Proverbs 16:24. This is why we're going over these things, man, so you guys can learn how to do things. Don't go up on your man like, like anyone who's in authority. If you want to get him, you need to like use your sense of of you submitting, at the same time use kindness, humbleness and kindness,
Humility.
you understand, humility, because certain people you can't fight. There's no point of fighting.
The Proverbs 16.
And you can even use that anywhere you go, man. Your boss, your work, and anything. I'm not saying you can do that extra, but there's a way you approach your boss. It's like, oh yeah, man, I like that. I like that. You understand? You're not one of those rebellious ones.
Proverbs 16:24.
Proverbs 16:24. Read that.
The book of Proverbs 16, verse 24. Pleasant words are as in honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones.
Right, pleasant word, man. You know, the Bible says, man, pleasant words are sweet to the soul, man. Read that again.
It says, pleasant words are as sweet or as honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones.
Right, man. They're as honeycomb. They're sweet. They're sweet to the soul. And they're good health for the bones. They make you feel good.
Yeah.
See? So Esther came to that king and be like, man, I'm inviting you to a dinner. So let's go back to the book of Esther.
The book of Esther, chapter 4. 4 verse
1:5. Right?
1:5. Slovakia. Five verse
Verse 9.
verse
Verse
9.
8. Read verse 8 again.
Says, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king had said.
Right, he said, man, I prepared a nice banquet for you and Haman alone, man. All right, this is just in your honor. Who wouldn't take that bait? My wife prepared a nice dinner for me. I'm going. Especially if she can cook. She can't cook, I'm not going. All right, let's read on.
Verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
Right, so, but he was happy, man. Like, the queen invite me alone and the king. Wow, what an honor. See, but when he left, he saw Mordecai at the gate. He's like, man, you won't kill him. You won't even bow down to me. You want to kill him. He was fuming. Let's read on.
Verse 10. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children, and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king.
Read on.
Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come and with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king.
He's like, man, only me, man. The king let in. The queen invited. That's how special I am. I'm so special. So special. I read on.
Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
Yeah, look at what the man let frustrate his life. It's like, because one man don't bow down to me, man, I want him gone. I can't be happy until this guy's gone. Okay, all this until he's dead, man, I'm not happy. Read on.
Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, Let a gallows be made of 50 cubits, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou and merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
Yeah, he's like, man, just make a gallows, man. You know, them things that hang people on. Just, just two more, hang them, and you do your thing. Okay, let's see what happened. Chapter 6.
Chapter 6. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the king said, What honor and dignity had been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, There is nothing done for him.
Right. So, at that afternoon, Haman was thinking, tomorrow I'm gonna hang Mordecai, but the Most High was already fighting for Mordecai. At that same night, remember how Mordecai saved the king? The king couldn't sleep, so he opened his book and looked. He's like, what did they do for that man? He actually saved my life. They say, we didn't do nothing. You didn't do nothing for you. Get me Exodus 14:14, brother.
The book of Exodus 14, verse 14.
Exodus 14:14. The Most High already got his whole plan. When they think they're going to take you out of the job, or they're going to somewhat like, I've seen that many times, man. I used to be at the old job I used to be. Some people wanted me gun before I know their gun first. Yeah. I've had many people that come against me at that job get their gun before me. I always say in my heart, you're going to be gun now and I'm going to stay here. And exactly that's what happened. I left when I decided to leave, but you're not going to leave. You're not going to make me leave. I've seen that many times. Read that, Exodus 14:14.
Exodus 14, verse 14.
Read.
The Most High shall fight for you, and he shall hold your peace.
Read it like a camp man, brother.
The Most High shall fight for you, and he shall hold your peace.
Right, so the Bible said the Most High will fight for you. Just be quiet. Don't worry about it. Hold your peace. Don't panic.
Relax, calm down.
Relax, man. Relax, Sister Alicia. The Lord will fight for us. Come. Right? So the Most High say, I'll fight for you. Hold your peace. I got you. And that's what happened to Mordecai. And tomorrow he was supposed to be hanged, but the Most High make the king give the king no sleep. And put in his mind, hey, go ahead, man, read that book and see what's going on. Randomly like that. Seems random. See, while you're sleeping, while your enemy is making plan, the Most High already made plan for you on how to save you out of it. So don't worry, don't fear, don't be afraid. You got you.
Can I get a verse right quick?
What you got?
Joshua 1, verse 5.
Get Joshua 1 and 5, bro. Okay. And I don't know, man. It's a lot of time we forget what the Most High has done for us. But if you look back where you've been, if you look back where you've been, man, you'll see the hand of the Most High in your life. You'll see how many things He have done for you. Yeah, just look back. Man. Remember those times. Man, I can look back and tell you so many things, man. I've seen Most High hands with us. But it's so many. Read that.
The book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 5.
Read.
There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life.
Read.
As I was with Moshe, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee.
Right. So the Most High won't fail you, man. He's not going to forsake you either. He'll be with you all the day of your life. If only you do the commandments, man. Okay. the Most High will exalt you. Let's go back to the book of Esther. Verse 3.
The book of Esther, chapter 6, verse 3.
Chapter 6 and 3.
6 and 3. And the king said, what honor and dignity hath been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servant that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him.
There's nothing done for him. We didn't do anything for him. He saved your life. Read on.
And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the house, outward court of the king's house, to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him.
So the king, here's the funny thing. Mordecai just walking in to come tell the king, hey man, I want you to hang that guy. He never obeyed me. Haman came to ask, to request that the king have him hanged. As the king was talking about Mordecai. Read on. Let's see what happens.
And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom will the king delight to do honor more than myself?
Yeah, he was full of himself. He's like, man, surely it's me. King about to do me honor, man.
Was
Like,
prideful.
This man loves me.
Essentially, if the king wants to honor somebody, that's got to be me.
Yeah, he has to be me. Who else can it be?
Look at me.
I'm all in all my glory. Read on. Let's see what happens.
Kiss the ring.
Verse 7.
Chapter 7, verse 7. And Haman answered the king, for the men whom the king delighted to honor, let the royal apparel to be brought which the king used to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let his apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal, whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor.
Right, he said, man, this is what you're going to do to honor that man, king. You're going to take your own royal clothes, put on him, put him the crown on his head, use your own very horse, and let one of the most noble prince, leading him, dragging him, and go around the city and say, this is whom the king wants to honor. Haman thought it was him. He's like, surely, man, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna wear the king's crown. I'm good. And let's see what happens.
Okay.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew, that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
That's the same Mordecai. He just came to hang. Now he's about to honor Mordecai. You understand? He's going to do the same thing for Mordecai. That's a slap in the face right here. When you thought you were about to hang that man, now you're going to go drag him around and tell everybody this is the man the king want to honor. You're going to be doing the man you hate. The men that you want to die. All right, read on.
Then took Haman the apparel and the horse and the array Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor.
Right, this man walking with Mordecai around. This is the man the king want to honor. This is the man go all around all day. This is talking about Mordecai. Man, this man hate Mordecai that refused to bow down to him. See, get me Psalm 10 right quick.
Do it while you're smiling.
You better be smiling.
Mordecai, when he's sitting on the side, it's like, today's the day. Lord, my
Something is what?
Actually, it's Psalm 7, verse 12.
Psalm 7.
Psalm 7, verse 12.
Verse 15. You can start.
The book of Psalm 7, verse 15.
Read.
He made the pit and dig it, and is falling into the ditch which he made.
Right, read.
His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. I will praise the Most High according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Most High.
Right, so the Most High said, man, like, he dig a pit, he's gonna fall in that same pit. His mischief shall return unto him. That's what happened, man. Okay, let's go back to the book of Esther.
Book of Esther.
Psalm 7, verse 12. Disconnected?
It's recording, right?
Yeah, do it. Don't touch it.
It's back. Right? It says, man, if you begin to fall in front of them, there's no winning. Because we heard about the Jews and the Israelites. Okay? We know what they're capable of. Read on.
And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared.
Remember, Esther had a first banquet and invited them in a second one. Esther did back-to-back banquet to sweeten the king. Right? So as he was complaining, they came and be like, man, let's go. It's time. Let's see what happens.
Verse 7. So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said unto Esther, and on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom.
Read.
Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
Read.
Verse 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue also, the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, where is he, and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
He said, where?
Who trying to kill you?
Who trying to kill my queen? You know? Who's doing that? What are you saying? So Esther said, man, give me life. You know, let me leave. Like, what? Who's trying to kill you?
Can I add something?
What you got?
Please. I think if Esther had said, save my people, the king probably wouldn't, he would pay attention to it, but it wouldn't sound so tragic or so harsh.
Right.
When she said, please save my life,
Right. Spare my life.
and the guy's like, who's trying to kill my queen? You know what I'm saying? Now that's
No one touched my queen. All right. Let's read on.
So you remember in the passage where Mordecai said, do not tell them where you come
where
from.
you come from, right?
Right.
You know, that's something too, though.
Yeah. But the Most High
The Most High had planned everything.
Right.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is the wicked Haman.
Is this wicked Haman? Read.
Is this wicked Haman? Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Read.
And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
Yeah, he's like, man, I'm finished. So he stand in the room begging Esther, please, say something. Do something. Save my life. Read.
Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine, and Haman was falling upon the bed whereon Esther was.
Right. This man fall on top of Esther. Things are about to get worse. Read.
Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house?
Will he try? Are you trying to rape my queen too? Isn't it enough you're trying to take her life? Now you're trying to rape her? Read.
As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
You know when they cover your face, it's a wrap.
They already put Haman under arrest.
Now things just got worse for Haman. He was forcing Esther so much that he fall up on Esther, and the king come and be like, hello, trying to rape her too?
But can I add something? The word rape only, the gods already grab Haman under arrest. Say no more.
Right, read verse 9.
And Abonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king,
Just about to get even worse.
behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman.
This man decided to make things worse. As this man already caught for trying to conspiring to kill the queen, trying to rape the queen. Now that guy say, actually, he had a gallows, trying to kill Mordecai as we had it. He eats at his house.
And it's 50 cubits.
It's 50 cubits. Even give the length.
It's ready for you.
It's like Mordecai, that guy that saved your life. The king said, yeah. He actually tried to hang him. The gallows at his house. Like, really? That's bad, man. Read on.
Then the king returned out of the palace. No, verse 9.
Just 10. Oh, verse 9. Yeah, finish now.
And Habonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
The king hang him on that same gallows. Read.
So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
Verse chapter 8. Let's try to wrap 8. Still got some time.
Chapter 8.
Mm-hmm.
On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman the Jews' enemy unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told that he was unto her. And the king took off his ring, which he had.
So finally, Esther tell the king that Mordecai is my uncle. Okay? Telenovela stuff. Too.
And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman.
Now, Mordecai took the place of Haman now. See, that's how the Mosai operate. Same thing with Joseph, man.
Saved the king's life. Now he's the.
Men used to sit in front of the king palace like a beggar, man. Now he's over Mordecai's house. Read.
Joseph was his slave in the dungeon.
Exactly.
He's next to Pharaoh.
Mhm.
So I says, bring it down.
You bring
Lift it up.
right.
Go on.
Verse 3.
Chapter 8, verse 3. And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him,
Yeah.
with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews.
Right. So that's another thing. That's another thing Esther used. Her tears. When a woman cry, a man gotta listen. Okay, don't cry. I know it's bad, but don't cry. It's like, men don't like when women cry. It's bad. That's it's bad when she cry.
When tears is something
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
I walk out. I can never see people cry.
Right.
Someone stop cutting.
And when your woman start crying, like, okay, I know I was rough. I may have been a little rough, you know. Don't cry. Let's fix this. Right. So no men want no women crying, man. Yeah, that's another tool that Esther used here, and then start crying. The king don't wanna see that. It's like, okay, it's bad. I promise I'm gonna fix it. Okay. All right, let's read on.
And his device that he had devised against the Jews. Then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king and said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seems right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Aman, the son of Amadatha, the Agagites, which he wrote to destroy the Jews, which are in all the king's provinces.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther, the queen, to Mordecai, the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write he also for the Jews, as it like you, and the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring, for the writing which is written in the king's name, and seal with the king's ring, may no man reverse.
Right, so once the king writes something and the seal is on it, you can't reverse that. So the letter was done. You understand that the Jews should be killed, but let's see, there'll be a reverse course of action though. Read.
Verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof, and it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenant and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India and unto Ethiopia, as 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after the language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to the language.
Read.
And he wrote in the king's Ahasuerus' name, and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent letters by post on horseback, and riders, and mules, and camels, and young dromedaries. Oh Lord. Wherein the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together, and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and province that would assault them, both little ones and women, and to take the spoil of them for a prey.
Right, so the king said, okay, I can't reverse the action, but guess what? I give you power to defend for your life. And I send you weapons too. Get ready, stand for your life. When the 12 months come, stand up to fight. Okay, read.
Upon one day in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, namely upon the 20th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, the king of the writing for commandments to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Jews should be ready against that day to avenge themselves and on their families, on their enemies. So the posts that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandments, and did at Shushan the palace. Verse 15. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel, and blue and white, and with the great crown of gold, and with garments and fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad.
Man, like this man left with a purple. This guy,
Crown too.
crown. He had crown, man.
You know Jake, man, when we trash.
But I hear a white man. He was talking. Yeah, the Jews, man, they always go to people's kingdom and take over it. You know, but that's our people, though. You understand? At this time, man, Mordecai, man, he had this purple. You know, with a lot of, because actually, what is blessings? Blessings, like a lot of our people say, we are blessed, right? You're not blessed. Because the Bible says in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, when you bless, I'll bless you with a lot of wealth above all nations. I'll put you. You'll be the head, not the tail, right? What you got?
I saw a video online of it's a song two Hebrew Israelites singing, rapping and stuff. And that's what a bunch of Edomites they're writing in the bottom like, yeah, we know we Gentiles. They're like, no, they say we know we Gentiles. You know, bless you guys. You guys are the people of the Most High. So they've been a lot of them. They've been seriously learning.
Yeah.
Like, some of them don't know how to join, but they're like, at least if I confess, maybe the Most High will have pity on me.
Yeah.
They already know that we are the Israelites, and for them, they're trying to figure out a way in.
Yeah. A lot of nations will try to become Jews, like it says here.
Like when we left Egypt.
Yeah. Understand? When people see the Most High with you, man, they wanna join. A lot of time they don't wanna join yet because they don't see, you know, the glory of the Most. But once they start seeing things are going, GYC is making progress, we going up. Guess what? People are like, okay, maybe God is with them. Can we become Jews? You Esau, no. All right. Finish reading that. Verse 17. Right, so all praise to the Most High, man. We have 2 chapters, very short chapters. You know, we're gonna read that, you know, at the feast of Purim. So we hope that everybody's ready for Purim. You know, it's a great feast days where we're gonna commemorate, you know, our victory of our enemies. And it's gonna be a Friday, right?
Yes.
It's gonna be a Friday, so you don't have to have days off. You understand? So all praise to the Most High for this day. I'm Adim, Lapanim, Yerushalayim. Let us stand and face Yerushalayim.
I have a couple of announcements.
Hallelujah. Barakatah Hawa. Ba'ashem Hamashiach. Yahushai. Lanatan lanu. Wayom. Hashbat. Bashalom. Borak. Yisrael. Salak. Yisrael. Shamar. Yisrael. Yechak. Shatan. Yechak. Shatan. Yeshai. Yisrael. Tawara, Tamyan, Aman. All praises and honor and glory unto the Most High power. For from long time ago he has worked his hands, and we have seen his works among our people. He have redeemed many times. Only if we trust him, only if we stay silent, he's gonna fight our battles. All we gotta do is stay silent, and we're gonna see his work. We thank you, O Most High, for loving these people. For him that watch over Israel never slumber nor sleep. For you have watched us a long time ago, but now also you still continue watching our people from all plots and all wickedness and dark places, attempting to overthrow thy chosen race. We pray that you continue blessing us, sending your understanding and wisdom unto us, sending your strength and power and valiantness unto us, that we may stand strong in these last days for what's right, knowing that the Most High got our backs. We thank you, O Most High, for we have a power like you. And the nations wish to have one like you, but they don't, for you have only chosen your people, Israel. We pray that you continue to be with us, change our hearts, change our mind, give us faith, give us confidence, and let us stand strong against our enemies, knowing that the Most High will fight our battles. We thank you. May your name be blessed in all the earth. Let the world know who you are, and wake Israel up around the four corners of the earth through your spirit. We pray and ask all these things by Hashem Yahushai. Amen. Shabbat Shalom Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom Yaimon.
Hashem Israel. Hallelujah, Hashem Yahweh. Shabbat Shalom Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom Yaimu. Barak Hashem Israel. Hallelujah, Hashem Yahweh. All praises and honor and glory unto the Most High for giving us this great Shabbat day in peace. And I thank the Most High for each one of you that were able to make it. You can cut. Remember the nation's commitment toward the community